All right, guys, just gonna give it a few minutes for people to join, and then we're gonna take a look at this real quick. Get you a drink, get you some music. How you guys did today? How are your trades? I'll be looking at the chat on the stream. All right. Let me just do something real quick. Hopefully we can keep this session short because it's time to be with the family, right? It's time for some you trades where gotta get better entries. Uh yeah. I'll give you a tip for entries. But you never know. You there was a trade we had today for 150% CVNA, 120% I remember, and we actually went down to 50%. But the trade idea is that I was not expecting to be down 50%, right? But the idea is for the trade to go into the moon from the open. I don't buy stuff to be read. But I mean, sometimes you get a good entry, sometimes you don't. If the trade still works, it's still a win in my book. You know. Okay. I'm gonna um I'm gonna start. I guess I'm not gonna wait for I usually wait 5 minutes for people, but I guess the early bird gets a worm. Let me just get water real quick. 1 second. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. Uh, the QVIP week is over. If you wish to join, it's there. I keep doing the VIP thing. So you're welcome to join. You're welcome to learn all that. Trading has been a little bit hard for me, but I mean I'm being very picky with the setups. That's what I've been doing. You know, I think it's because last week I had a bad streak for today, so Yes, that's when you look back and then, you know, instead of taking every setup that you see, is just taking whatever quality setup that you see instead. I think it's just better, right? Um, I guess we're gonna start with ES futures. We're gonna take a look at this action right here. Gonna remove this alert for now, and I guess looking into Friday, I wouldn't expect much. You know, Friday it's gonna be half day, and or a little more than half day, but it's just not. It's gonna be low volume. The whole week has been low volume, right? Uh, so so if you notice, like on the daily volume on an S&P's futures, these 2 days right here, even with this big upside move, it's way less volume than any other on the past days. Below average, if you will say. If you look at SPY, it's even less volume. So I wouldn't expect much. Some large moves can happen, with low volume, but if we come back to it, they can get liquidated fast, because it's just not a lot of volume is supporting those levels. I think today's action was pretty clear. I wanted to short the when we were grinding higher. I just didn't know when, right? I didn't pull the trigger. I did get some shorts on futures, but I wish I would have got some SPX alerts on you guys. This was a little bit tricky, We were grinding higher, and I was looking at the tick, something that I use a lot. And as we were going higher, you notice a white line right here. The ticks were sliding lower, right? So we're sliding lower on the ticks as we were going higher, and then boom, we get a liquidation break right here. And usually, like, I didn't think this would go further down. It did for a little bit, not that much, but you can tell. This action that occurred today is very bullish market-ish. So back in bullish markets, and anytime, yeah, you had an extreme tick for a 1,000 plus or 1,000 negative, you could actually fade it. Go the opposite way, because it's unsustainable selling, unsustainable buying. Late on the bear market, you have constant short squeezes, constant drops, with a negative 1,000, negative positive 1,000. But like this is actually very normal. A day where you go higher, getting weaker, have a liquidation break, unsustainable, and then you recover those losses. Obviously, it was FOMC, so this action past this point is more of a reaction, to FOMC. But keynote right there, and I think I kept mentioning on voice, like this thing is looks like it wants to break a leg. It's getting weaker as it's going higher, and then boom, right. What are we doing here, Ben? We're just doing charts in chat. uh, yeah, gap days are not my fort, so you're right. So, but I think with time we'll get that. We had a very good FOMC trade today, guys. I never seen such pop in volatility before as today's, and I don't think it was mostly because of the um, that it got really big pop on volatility, but more like the volatility was so cheap today. Contracts on SPX and the SPYs are getting cheaper. Like if we were on all time highs, that's what it feels like. I don't know if you guys noticed. Trading the 0DT is right now on this day. It just felt like if we were right here, past on the 4,700s or so. It's just that's what it felt like, and yeah. So you know, that's what we got going on. So as you guys know, we have 100% win rate on the FOMC trade. I did not expect to have 30% today on it. It's crazy. It always averages from 10 to 15%. With 100% win rate, I'll take that any time of the day, right? And we're gonna keep doing that on every meeting, every FOMC minutes. And everyone's you can actually double up a port doing that trade constantly. Doing that trade only. You can double up your port at the end of the year, but you will have to go all in, and that's not advisable. That's just not smart. But if you're averaging 15% or so, you do it every minute after every FOMC, you can actually have a double port at the end of the year. But yeah, don't. And this time I sized down. It's crazy that one time I sized down because I usually go higher, heavier into this trade. Didn't really, it went a lot in our favor, but it is what it is, right? It's just I thought volatility wouldn't spike up that much on the minutes, but now that we know this, it's time to never size down on this trade. Keep the same size and stick to our rules. Stick to our rules. Especially today, we've seen the power of getting the right fills. Just waiting, not exactly 30 minutes before the FOMC, but actually getting the right fill. And you guys saw the pictures that I shared on Discord. We had I posted someone chat showing the volatility, the option chain on the volatility at some point when we bought, and then the option chain implied volatility when we were like 30 something percent. So you know, so that's what we got going on. All right. So happy Thanksgiving again. So we're gonna take a look at I guess this whole mess right here that we're seeing right now, because the market is getting very bullish and probably a little bit ahead of itself. Uh, we are looking at a trend line on the weekly, right here on ES, boom, that we're looking to reach in the near future. We're looking to reach that in the near future. So that's the main target. We're still on a downside until this is broken out. Until we place a higher high above this particular high right here. We're not out there was for a bear market, right? For another drop into this market. So given that, what can we expect for next Friday or next week? I mean, at least for the next week, I don't know, right? We don't know yet. We're contracting between, if you notice, this is a 50 EMA on the weekly and this is a 20 EMA on the weekly. So we're like in between, right? It's a sandwich right now. Last week's dojis, it was like this, and today's candle is like this. I think I did get in a short position on futures, and I'm probably gonna take it off. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can take it off overnight because I think we're gonna go higher. I'm gonna see if we can. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're probably gonna. I'm thinking that we rarely see inside weeks on the on ES futures, so I'm thinking we can break this prior week high. Which is a few ticks away. It's 40, 50, 61. A little poke out of that, and then maybe we can short, or or maybe we can long into this poke right here. So a little bit of upside still cook into this, and next week's we probably, if we continue the bullishness, we can probably hit this trend line, and then maybe we can drop, right. So it is the main focus right here, this trend line right here. Now, can the market turn around before the trend line? Yes. I mean, everybody and their mama knows about this trend line, right? You're probably gonna go to Thanksgiving dinner and talk about your relatives with, yeah, there's a trend line right here, and we're looking to long it and then short it. Yeah, everybody knows about it. So when that happens, we tend to really not hit it. Have the sellers present. Have the sellers present before the trend line gets hit. Um, all right. So now, gotta get rid of this real quick. I wanted to show you guys the expected move for the week. It's right here. And this is basically what you're looking at, this chart right here. Looking at this chart right here is SPX. And this little green bar is the expected move on SPX for this week to the upside. And the red one is the expected move for the week to the downside. So I can see us going a little higher, like I said. reach the prior week high, because we ever broke the prior week high on the cash session, but not on the futures side. So we can actually go a little higher, and I would think that the options are not badly priced in. Like last week, we seen that we touched the lower end of the expected move and bounce. So we probably have capped the upside up to this point right here. So it's gonna be one of the things to watch out for tomorrow. That probably the upside is done by SPX pricing of 40.48. You know, either initiate a short right there, or just don't take your longs further than this, right? That will be the what you will look for on this market. I know that the respective move has been breached many times before, as seen on this week, as seen on this week, as seen on this week right here. And basically the market makers were really bad at pricing in options for all this. But now we have, after all this mispricing on options, we actually have a week where we stay inside the expected move, and I think this is with the introduction of zero DTEs on spies. So I don't know what the mechanics of the game is changing or not, but I don't know if it is changing. But we do have like I said, a little bit of upside to hit right here, and then we'll see. We'll talk about shorts now. That's with the spies, right? So that's the look at the weekly right here. A little bit of upside, and then probably drop or a stop right there, and then we'll see on the next week, right? I would like to see the trend line hit, because that will offer a very nice opportunity for shorts. And we know that we do have I'm gonna turn off the overnight sessions right now. So we know that we have this humongous CPI gap, right? Big one, no joke. We got that to fill, but we also have this other gap to fill right here, and we also have this little mini gap right here to fill. So we do have 3 gaps to fill right here. Now, what does get filled first, right? We've seen that the rejection on the whenever we get on with the overnight session right here, we do see that this is the end of this candle right here, right? So expected move will tell me that we're probably gonna see a little bit above this candle, I think, or no, actually, I think about as much as that candle high, maybe a few ticks above, and that's it. Not even get into this territory until probably next week, right? So next week we can probably start filling in this right here, and then maybe later on the future we can drop into this to fill this right here on the future. I mean, I'm not saying that the market has to do something, but it's just this stuff, the structure right here does not stay like this for long, right? And we know that whatever happened right here on this push higher is very thin on in terms of volume, right? So if we start chipping into this area right here, we know this can drop pretty fast, you know. So we have to be ready. We have to be positioning for that. So we got that going on. So Ben is asking about the VIX theory. So, well, maybe we get some type of bounce on the VIX, right? Just because we have this, if you go down to the weekly, and we actually lost it. We have this big trend line that the VIX has been respecting, and it actually lost it, to be honest. It lost it. We're on the 2035. So once, I mean, this is extremely bullish for the market, you know. That trend line has already been breached. Even though you're not supposed to do technical analysis on the VIX, to be honest. This is realized volatility on 30 days. So it's just telling you right now that the next days are gonna be less volatile, you know. There's no big earnings. I guess whenever we have some economic data, we'll see some kind of a volatility spike. But this, you know, if the VIX loses the 20s right here, that's gonna be super bullish. Super bullish. So set your alerts, right? Because the VIX losing the 20s is gonna be super bullish. I mean, when was the last time we saw VIX under 20? You know, actually, we had to see it under 19 or so because we've seen it base around here. But you get the gist, right? Yeah. You see, this whole year hasn't seen VIX below 18. And the norm used to be 11 or something, you know? Like, if you look at, we add more years to this. You know, the norm, used to be 10, 8, something like this. And then it will spike up like on events, right? And then calm down, spike up on pullbacks. Then we see like this volatility hanging very high up, and now it's kind of normalizing, right? We're dropping into the lows. So definitely we can see, like, I guess what people are arguing right now is that the volatility has come down so much that it must go up, right? Can only go down. But I don't know. I don't use volatility that much anymore because it doesn't really give me that much edge, right? So yeah, keeping breaking this. If it keeps breaking this, it's gonna be very bullish for the market. Now, NQs. So the NQs, let me see on ES as well. So I was thinking, of this push higher, we kind of went back before it touched the 50% retracement of this move, right? So that's very bullish, I would say, if you're retracing and pushing higher, and you're not even going back to 50% retracement, it's even more bullish. So on the NQs, it's about the same idea, right? You're pulling into a 32, not reaching the 50% of this push higher, and then you're also basing around the EMAs. That's important on the daily. Now, the weekly, that's the issue right here. That's one of the issues that makes me feel bearish. There was a candle that went above the daily 20, and it's important. It's important. The weekly 20 is important, right? Because we've seen rejections in the past. And the top of this candle right now is being the weekly 20 EMA. So not exactly, but almost there. And that could be a point of like turnaround or at least, the end, the move higher for this week, right? And then we'll see about next week. But that's what we got. So we gotta watch out for that, right? We actually have to remember that for every bull retracement, there's always a bear retracement. So this leg lower right here, you're topping at the highs, what we call the 618, and lately I've been using the 65. I noticed that a lot of the times we get a little bit effect out of the 618, and it's because it rejects around the 65. So it's still, if we go above this level, then I guess I throw the theory out the window that this can turn around. But we can basically just make this what looks to be right now what you see right now is a bull flag breaking higher. It could actually have been a bear flag inside the bull flag. So it's just a dynamic where the market is making a lower high and then drops, right? So I'm watching carefully that if this is a high, right? If it's only gonna make like a 618 and then back down, because if that happens, then I would expect this gap to fill, this whole gap on the CPI to fill. And yeah, I mean, not only that, we broke out of this trend line, and we didn't have a retest or anything on it. So all that is just makes me feel like the market is leaving a lot of unfinished business behind, right? And also the QSA, we're looking at this trend line at the highs as well, in case it goes higher. If it starts breaking higher, if it starts trading up at this so-called 618, then I'll be looking for the market to trade into this trend line right here. That's the outlook right there. Now we are gonna peek a little bit to the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones is looking more bullish than ever, right? This one actually had a pullback, looking like a retest of the trendline break, bull flagging, breaking highs, even going higher. Is basically at this point, if you look at this, you're actually making a right now. It's I will say that it's almost an equal high up to this one right here. You know, almost an equal high. It is poking it by a small margin amount. So this is where, if the market starts beating this high, it means that this trend line is basically what we talk about the ES. What we're hoping to see. This is actually very bullish. This is actually what you call the end of this downtrend, and that's it for the downtrend. Like, obviously it's gonna have its pullbacks, but the trend has changed to the upside by then. That's what you will look for. Now we look at the Russell. Oops, it's RTY. Now the Russell, same idea. This one actually pulled back into a CPI for like a better amount, which is what you will call the 618 and the 20 EMA. So it's a lot better. You know, this gives me a perspective that the small caps are not leaving that much of a bad structure behind. Like the rest of the markets. We do have some unfinished business right here on this gap. But I mean, this thing leaves gaps like if it's some kind of Swiss cheese. So I don't know what to think of the Russell, but it is some unfinished price action right here on the CPI gap. This one, is, if you look at this bearish retracement right here, is kind of at between the 50 and the 618. So it is a good place for it to turn around if it's gonna make another leg down. If it's gonna start, if it's not gonna break this highs right here. So we'll keep monitoring this, right? About the 618 off of that, then you will call it bullish, and possibly these highs are gonna get tested again right here. Let's see. All right. So next up is finding setups. I think you can throw tickers. I'm gonna keep this session short. I think is you're just gonna look at some quality stuff. I did a rough scan, and I like a lot of stuff. I like a lot of stuff. Not gonna lie, I like a lot of stuff. But I do want to keep inside the setups that are gonna look like huge breakouts, like was it Ulta or Lulu? Yeah, kind of like Lulu. There's a lot of stocks that are doing this. They're doing this kind of bull flag. I mean, I don't use shapes and forms, but this kind of a retracement, pullback retracement, start making higher highs. You have a trend line of the downtrend right here. Oops, this one is almost gonna reach it actually. And then you break out to the upside. I think what was it? MA that did it. Yeah, Mastercard is kind of looking like this, so we're gonna look for something like this. This is my favorite setup of what is happening right now in the market. I think Wendy's did it. Wendy's, we kind of missed this, pull back into EMAs and then breakout. I don't know what else was it. Google's looking like it wants to do it. We see this trend line break right here, close above the EMAs. You see, it looks like it's ending the downtrend. It broke this high, close about this high. If you notice, it's lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and this is the first higher high. So this may have continuation. We're gonna be looking at Google for maybe Friday or next week or so. I have Leonard, LEN, for also a bullish breakout continuation. Almost the same setup, right? Push higher, pull back, set of like a trend line retracement based around the 20 EMA. and then boom, higher highs, you know, break of this high, higher high. We missed this trade today, but we can catch some of the remaining upside, you know. RCL is looking like one of my favorites right now. Look at this nice body candle after indecision. Doji candles right here indicating buying pressure. And break of this trend line, you know. It's a little bit extended from the EMAs. I don't like that, you know. But if we start opening above the prior day high tomorrow, I think it's a go from the open. It's probably gonna be one of my trades at the open tomorrow, RCL, you know, and especially because CCL, I mean, it's kind of recovering what it had from the offering that it did, right? So it's looking like it's making a base around the EMAs. It didn't go that bearish, you know, on it. So we can start getting a gap fill about this highs, you know, aiming for a gap fill. So looking forward for these names. We see something like some airlines are looking very bullish. AAL, Love. This will be another setup, you know. Same idea, you know. It's very clear, you know. It's very clear. You see this downtrend of the dailies right here. Boom, 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 boom. Break out of it, and we have to monitor for continuation going higher, right? And we can have a nice daily candle up to this other high right here into the 40s 22s. So all those setups, if you guys find them, if you guys see them on your charts, if you find it by any chance on the on it, this is what I'm looking for lately, you know. It's just, I think this was offering the best risk reward right now. FCX, I think it's something similar, right? Exactly like that. Exactly like that, Ben. Exactly like that. Trend based around the daily 20. Right here. And then boom. You know? So we're gonna continue monitoring this for upside. It looks good, Ben. It looks good. I like it. I like it. You know, just look at what X did, you know? This is already something that played out. I'm gonna actually delete this drawing set. This is something that already played out, but we're looking for something like this, right? You see this little pullback consolidation area into around that is close to the daily 20, and then boom, break to the upside, right? And you look left for targets, right? You start looking for stuff like this. So yes, that's the idea, guys. That's the idea. Something like this for breakup higher. I believe no, Honeywell, Boeing probably. We're gonna monitor Boeing. We'll see what happens. This looks already bullish. We're gonna see Boeing right now for possible continuation tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, on Friday. That's what I'm looking for. So I like all the stuff. I like the FCX, BA, all the stuff. So that's what I'll be looking for. Ben says FTCH. That one's different, you know. That's not what I'm talking about. I get what you're seeing right here. I mean, this is a big time support. This whole area, I guess you could call it a demand zone, and then you're looking for a continuation higher, right? As of now, it's making a first higher high, and if I were to take the downtrend, I would at least try to get some upside into the 32 retracement. Not so much the EMAs, because you see that it's very sideways into the EMAs. There's some kind of rejection, so I'll be aware of that once it hits, and possibly at most a 50% retracement. But it's just not the same setups of what I'm looking for. I think it's the better risk reward, the better setups that we can take. You know, is something like that, right? Lulu is one of my favorites, guys. Lulu is one of my favorites. It's the same idea, right? You guys see this little bitty bull flag based around the daily 20. Break out of it, boom, upside. So we're gonna continue watching Lulu for this. You know, Like I said, some stuff like look at PG what it did, right? Same idea, boom, upside. Think Walmart did it, kinda a little bit of that, but not so much, and then boom, upside. Uh, did UNH did it? No. Was it Costco? Costco did it. Back down a little bit extended from the EMAs. I don't know if I would watch it. I think it's this was key that this support held, but boom upside right there. So it's looking great, right? Costco. You have to watch out for this peak right here. Like actually go down to the weekly. Yeah, you gotta watch out for this peak right here because it may end the move. Um, and Yeah, that's about it. This peak right here, and then if it makes a pullback, then it's probably viable. It's probably viable on Costco. Most likely viable. You know, but a good pullback. Something that looks like this. See this breakout pullback like this, which represents something like the 618 is something that you can aim for, right? Some pullback like that. So if you're looking at the weekly, you're looking at something like from here, pull back into this. So you don't know, right? But you're already in. I wish you the best. I think I think you can reach these targets right here. I'm gonna aim this right here. I don't know why I have this yellow. It's probably there's a lot of confluence on this yellow one. It's because I traded. I don't know if you noticed, but I traded Costco a lot before. Throughout the whole year. There's some left. There's some places where I traded this in many places. Uh, all right. Anybody has any other suggestions besides Ben? I know. But if not, then we're gonna end it right here. I know it's quick, I know it's fast, but that's the expectations that we're having for the next days. I think wasn't it UPS that did have something like this as well? UPS, boom, back down, bull flag, base around the EMAs, boom, to the upside. So just be mindful that we might be seeing top in the in at least for the week, right? Don't get overly excited on the bullish side on Friday. We start going up. That's what I'm saying, right? CLX also was good. It had a very bearish day today. That's a very bearish pullback. Oh, is this the 1 minute chart? Wakala. Uh, but it's still a retracement, right? So you always gonna find a best place entry whenever you reach the 20 EMA on the daily, because you can trade sideways. This is very meaningful. Did not take the low, so that's bullish. But I know this is almost a trap actually, because you I can see it on the weekly. I can see on the weekly that it has this major resistance right here, right? I'm gonna put it right here. Major resistance, very noteworthy. Uh, and you poke it, but you instead of like having a little really doji candle or pullback or stay right there, stay above it. Going back underneath is like it's not bullish. That's actually maybe very bearish. You know this this action does not look good. If it goes back over this level, then I will probably think that this is now the real breakout. You know, that's probably the real breakout until it goes back above that level. That's no bueno. That looks nasty. In fact, I think I would have if I would have been on this trade. I think I would have been caught long on this break because of this weekly. Yeah, I would have been caught long right here. I know myself. So watch out for this name. Yeah. Watch out for this name. It's a classic setup that I would have been all over, for a breakup higher of this, because of this action right here. All right. Pool is asking why did I see on Doll this morning? Uh, on this one, I saw. Okay, I had an alert on Dal and AAL. So this is the same idea that I'm looking for, right? This one's not breaking out yet. So by the time when we took this trade, we were looking at this only this resistance area. So when it broke the prior day high, you're supposed to make another high, but where can it go? Whenever I see two candles down and a third one that breaks the prior day high is a two down, two up strike reversal. So when this one goes, when you cross this price level, you tend to go into this level. But I was also aiming, if it went above this level, I was aiming this trend line right here. So it did not reach a trend line, but it was a very profitable trade. It was very nice. And like I said, I was looking at that one, and I was mostly looking at AAL. The reason we didn't took AAL, which ended up with being a very bullish daily candle, was because the option contracts really don't move that much. If you notice the move on AAL, even though like it looks very massive, very bullish and whatnot, I liked it better. The chart was looking out of all the airlines, I like AAL better, right? So this was a trigger. There was a first target, and it actually ended up going higher. But how many points is that? It's just not that many. It's just 28 cents. So you do have to play like next week contracts and whatnot. So I know that Delta Airlines just moves in a lot more points and the options as well. So I decided to take on that. But I kind of had the trigger on AEL and Delta Airlines about the same time. So it's what I saw. I was already looking for, because American Airlines had a very bullish pre-market, and Delta Airlines had like I said, it's basically it, right? A prior day bounce at daily 20, boom, continuation higher. Two down, two up, strike reversal. Trigger happens, and then we have a trend line to go for. And if it starts going higher, because I'm gonna keep a look at all this stuff, right? Delta Airlines and whenever like travel stuff, goes like RCL cruise lines and all this stuff, especially because crude oil. It's one of the things I wanted to mention. Is looking super bearish. Crude oil on the daily is looking super bearish to make another leg down, and I don't know. At some point, this freaking oil names are gonna start pulling back. I don't know when, but oil is funny because if oil goes high, it's inflationary pressures. If oil goes down, is recession, signaling recession. So it's just weird, right? But we also have to remember that oil coming down will help their airlines' profits and the cruise lines and everything that they have to use a ton of fuels and oil and all that, right? So I think that's it. I think we should also look. I'm sorry, before I go, we should also look for bearish setups. I have McDonald's for bearish. I have actually a ton of names on the consumer discretionary period. Oh, Starbucks is looking bullish. You know, it's having a breakout at the moment. So we're gonna put this on the watch list. S-Bucks. But we have like AAP. No, AAP, no. AZO, was it? AZO is having some pullbacks right here. It can start pulling back, below this low. It can start going back. That's a retracement still, but O'Reilly as well, and it looks like it's topping right here. So all those names right here, like, if they start pulling back, this is downward pressure on XLY. So we're gonna keep a watch on XLY, and that's a big part of the S&Ps and can bring the market down. So got eyes on that. McDonald's will be our very sell for tomorrow. That looks primed to go back into the because we actually had a trigger today. McDonald's had to go back into like the 20 MA and 618 at the same time, So this is what I will look for, which is the 270s, So this can be a trade for Friday. We'll see. GDX, I don't know, man. It's already running again, and without gold running that much, so I actually traded GDX based on the gold chart. Right now, the GDX is running like kind of by itself. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Cause it's already leaving, right? But I have to remind you that GDX went 800. I think I got it up to all the way to like 800, 900% or something like that. So it was a very good trade, man. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Ben, for coming. I was a loyal member. Hope to see you on the VIP anytime, whenever you wish. Very nice swing trade. I know people were sweating bullets whenever, because we took it. Remember that we took it here. It gapped down. Everybody was sweating bullets, and then it gapped up. You know. I know, but shit happens. I was trying to buy a good level, it did not, and had a false break to the downside. I think I was trying to buy this. So this whole action, this is what I'm saying. This whole action, bear trap, bro. Break of the trend line, gap lower. It's like short GDX, get out of your lungs, and then next thing you know is boom. So thank you, Okami. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Annie. Buklao, Polly, and Zucchini. Appreciate it. Have a good Thanksgiving, guys. Make sure to post that picture of your Thanksgiving dinners tomorrow on Market Chat. Appreciate you all. Cubito out.